I told my dad and stepmom about my engagement, and their response triggered me to suddenly remember years of repressed childhood memories, and now I do not know how to move forward with our relationship. We have a 36 female OP. Both of the parents are in their late 50s. Originally posted to r/relationship advice on July 19th, 2019. My dad and stepmom have been together since I was age 3, so 33 years. My childhood was a disaster zone. I have lost large chunks of time where it is a big blank area. I thought it was maybe because I had to take so much Benadryl as a kid because my allergies were so bad that I didn't remember much. Now I think the memory loss is mostly trauma related. Dark, murky memories would come up, but I have no real timeline of my childhood. My mom was married many, in parentheses, many times, and we moved a lot, and she had a baby, and then another baby, and then 2 more babies. I can sometimes piece together a home we lived in, or what school I went to when, but it is all a blur. I was both my parents' first child and the baby of teenage marriage. There was alcoholism and drug use and chaos. Some things have always stood out, like the time a stepdad put a gun to my mom's head, or my sister being born, or times when we had to move out fast and we were told to start throwing the things we wanted into garbage bags and put them into the car. That's fucking crazy. My mom and I were very close, and I was kind of her co-pilot through all the crap. Crazy as our life was, I loved the hell out of her, and she died 2 years ago from cancer. All in all, I have had a kind of hero through it, my dad. About a year ago, my dad, stepmom, and I were sitting outside around a backyard fire having drinks and real talk. He said something that surprised me, which was that I had lived with them as a kid for a period about 4 to 5 years. This was news to me. I had not remembered living with them for that long at all. In my head, it was maybe 6 months. My dad was hurt I did not remember living with them. During that time, my stepmom apologized for being so mean to me during my childhood. I shrugged it off and joked, well, I guess it's water under the bridge since I don't remember. She said, no, I was really mean. And I said, it's okay. All of it has come around. We are good now. Interesting. Okay, so the stepmom clearly did something, but at least the stepmom is holding herself accountable to it. But like, the fuck did she do? Fast forward to 2 days ago. Over the weekend, the man I love got down on knees and asked me to marry him. Magical moment. We've been very happy. In fact, it's the first relationship I've ever felt safe in, but it takes work and effort for me to trust. I tell my dad and stepmom the news and watch the whole thing turn and capsize. My dad makes a comment about how I had to beat my sister to a ring. My sister is their daughter / my half-sister and is in a serious relationship that is also leading to marriage soon. I am struck. I do not feel competitive with my sister, and she and I have always celebrated each other's victories. Then my stepmom asks about where and when, and I tell her it might be a year out, and she starts making excuses about how she will not be able to go, not willing to go, but tells my dad he can go. I hear this and know my dad will not ever take a trip without her and start to panic that he will not come to my wedding. The comments pile and mount, one on top of the other, until my whole body is trembling. Although I have been sober for over a year, suddenly I want nothing more than a drink. But I do not drink and say everything is fine when asked and try to leave on a good note to make sense of my feelings in private. Wait, to get this straight, the dad and the stepmom are mad at OP for getting engaged before their daughter? Something that needs to be explained is that there's always been a strain with stepmom and me. I try hard to do things right, but I'm scared of her and always have been. As an adult woman, she still scares me. She's incredibly controlling, powerful, dominating, and it is hard. My tactic in avoiding being a target of her passive-aggressive behavior and anger is just to be super nice. Nice all the time. Smile, swallow, repeat. When I came home from the engagement announcement, it was like the floodgates opened. One memory cascades into another and another and another. Suddenly, I can recall being 7 and 10 and 12 and all the fear I had as a child in their home. I remember how much she hated me, the name calling, the scapegoating. I remember sucking back tears and being told not to cry at all. I remember hearing all the time, "You're fine." I remember the secrets I had to keep about how mean she was. I remember walking down the hallway in our home and being pushed into another room while my dad watched TV in the living room and her whisper screaming that I was a brat and a terrible child, and was ruining her marriage and being told to say nothing to my dad. I remembered she controlled my sleep habits. I have always slept on my stomach, but she required that I slept on my side to face my little sister at night, and would come into the room in the middle of the night and catch me on my stomach and wake me up to yell at me and tell me to go back on my side. She controlled the relationship I had with my dad. We could not do anything she was not a part of, did not supervise or control. I remember being cornered again and again. I was targeted and she was after me, and it was relentless. I remember her sisters telling me how sorry they were and that it was not okay for me to be treated this way. She was a relentless bully. I remember my sister, who was 7 years younger, always trying to protect me and shield me from her mom. I remember being taunted and teased and made fun of. I remember one time she yelled at me out in front of our house, and I got so scared I peed my pants and had to run inside and change. I remember our neighbors saying that I was safe in their home, and if I ever made a mistake in their house, they would not tell my stepmom. I remember when I left my dad and stepmom's house to move back with my mom, that they took down all my photos from the walls and told me they would be fostering or adopting a kid to fill my place. When I moved back with my mom, life changed and was chaotic in the way it was with my mom. So I think I just forgot all this stuff and kept going. But with this sudden flash of remembering everything now, there's just anger. Layers and layers of anger. Anger that my dad did not stand up for me. Anger about what they knew, but I did not. A sense of abandonment. What the hell is this? How can I have forgotten all this? How does it just sweep from view? In my head, I rage at her, and the main thing I say is, guess what? Now I remember. I mean, even if up here she was saying sorry or whatever. I, number one, don't think it's actually genuine based off of the reaction that they had to the engagement. But number two, that does not make up for any of the absolutely fucked up shit I just read. Like, OP is genuinely a real life Cinderella, bro. The sleep one to me is fucking crazy. Like, you can't control the way your body decides to move while you're sleeping. Also, what the fuck is this that you have to be on your side so that you're facing the sister? Just wow. And also, yeah, this stepmom sucks, but let's talk about the fucking dad for a second. Like, what an absolute dog shit father. That's crazy, man. And to think too that OP had this idea that the dad was a hero. I sent them a text, a sheepish way to confront it, but for once I stood up for myself. It was very hard and my whole body quaked and trembled. They did not respond. The thing is, they've been trying in the past years. They moved to my state. They want a relationship with me. She did apologize back in the yard that day. I know my dad loves me and tried his own way to protect me. I don't think I will get any sense of accountability from them. But now it's like this mystery has unlocked inside me. I always felt unsafe around her. I never felt like, even when she has been nice to me as an adult, that I could trust her. Now I know why. I think I'm going to lose this last remaining chunk of parents I had. My mom is gone, and I have continued to work through all the things that happened with her, and will head back to therapy to deal with the rest. My sister asked what I want to come of all of this. Why put it all towards them? What kind of battle am I setting out to wage? And I really don't know. I didn't see this coming, and I'm at a loss. I feel guilty for bringing this up, like I am going to wreck the family, but I am also furious. I want them to have to hear it all from me. I want to ask my dad what he did and did not know. I want her confession. I feel like I can already hear my dad telling me not to be so dramatic, and yet I feel like I will not be able to stuff this one back in. How can I rehash something that I only now remember? Is it worth it to even try, or do I just salvage a fake relationship for the sake of having one? I feel bad about feeling sorry for myself. Is there anything that will come from holding them accountable, or am I just headed down a path of anger and victimhood? I wonder if we can even have a relationship from here. To be honest, y'all, I think not only is there not a relationship to be salvaged, but I don't think it's worth salvaging the relationship based off the dog shit reaction that they had to OP getting engaged. What's supposed to be one of the happiest moments of her life, they decided to step on because clearly, even though they've apologized for it and water is under the bridge, they still have feelings about OP that they shouldn't have as parents. Like, clearly Clearly, they care more about their own daughter than OP. Clearly, OP needs to figure this out in therapy, and maybe there should be a conversation, but I don't even think they're owed one. Like, especially if you texted them and they didn't respond to it, like, I don't think it's worth it. I also think this apology, as genuine as I thought it was initially, with how bad I'm learning that the stepmom was, she should have clarified what she meant by, no, I was really mean. Like, I think that would be like truly, hey, I'm remorseful. I was in a bad part of my life. Like, I've come to terms that this is a bad thing and I'm apologizing for it. That's how you apologize for something. Not just like, oh, good thing she didn't remember. Water under the bridge. Like, there's no accountability here. I think with apology, there needs to be accountability as well as action steps to change. And I think that actually also goes along with accountability. But clearly they have not fucking changed. That apology was really, I don't care, but I want this over with, so whatever. Here's what you want to hear. Don't get me wrong. She did do it when she didn't necessarily have to do it, but I feel like the apology was just going through the motions. And it was more of like, in case you do remember this, let me apologize for it. Not, I truly feel bad about this. Yeah, they want it off their conscience. It's not about facing consequences for actions. Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the long-term show that they haven't actually changed. Like, you want family around you that when they hear that you're getting engaged to the love of your life, they're super excited about it. They're not comparing you to the stepdaughter that they've compared you to their entire life. Couple of relevant comments. Someone said, forgive me for ignoring the big crux of this issue, but I'm stalled at, what's her angle here? They've been trying to better their relationship with you. But then you give happy news and she makes a baseless claim of sisterly competition and immediately can't attend. Why? What does she still hold against you now? Why? Obviously, she harbors some bullshit reasoning as to why she dislikes you so much, and she's got to skate by thus far on your inability to remember the early days of her abuse. But this was an out. She didn't have to say she was unable to attend. She's choosing to still be a shitty person to you. OP replied to that saying, you have hit on one of the more confusing aspects. And I think why this made it all come up and out. It's still the same behavior from both, really. That is why I'm kind of at a loss where faith in any change is concerned. Feels like if we are still going to remain a family and spend time together, then I will have to accept the underhanded comments that I've always been aware of. Thanks for pointing this out. It helps me feel less crazy. No, that is a super good point. Like, why apologize, but then still continue the behavior that you apologized for? And then the top comment on this is someone saying, hi, old damaged person here. I have one piece of advice, which is to let it sit a while. Think it over. Allow your initial reaction to crest and recede. Then decide what to do. Otherwise, all the buried hurt will come boiling out and it will go badly. As for what to actually do, parents are overrated. I know, I'm one of them. Build a strong family of your own and don't worry about them. They sucked when it mattered, and now they're good when it doesn't matter. Okay. I mean, easier said than done. Like, I'm sure getting your parents out of your life is not an easy feat, especially if they've been there since the start and you thought that they were good people up until this point. But yeah, I actually do agree with this person. I think it's just cut your losses. Like, they're clearly not great parents. You're adult. You're about to start a new family, a new life with a person that you love. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not easy, but I think it is the right thing to do. Edit/update. I figured this would be my own private story/rant for a few eyes in the corner of Reddit. I did not expect this response. I've been battling with wanting to take it down now. My fiance has encouraged me not to. I've been panicking that my parents will see this. I do not want to hurt them. There is no part of me that wants that, even in anger. I just want them to know and be honest without downplaying what it actually was. Not sure that will happen. Pretty unlikely, but it's a want. As for what to do about it, I will head off to EMDR and have a handful of referrals for Monday. I will take the damaged old person's advice, in parentheses, thank you, and move slowly here and get help and not go scorched earth just yet. Chat, does anyone know what EMDR is? EMDR stands for eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. It is a type of psychotherapy that aims to help individuals process and heal from traumatic or distressing experiences. Thanks for the help, encouragement, and congrats. As for my partner, which a few posts have asked about, I think he has been a huge reason this is coming out. I think the security of our home and relationship, plus lack of booze as a coping strategy, has meant now that there is the opportunity to actually feel things. I don't know, new territory. He has been hugely supportive in all areas of my life. He is sober too, a processor, a thoughtful person, and we have sat and read some of the responses together and appreciated the insights and conversation. As for those questioning validity of my memories or repressed childhood stuff, new territory also. Like I said at the top, I had heard of this, but didn't know it was an actual thing till I was in it. I can only speak to my experience right now as it is occurring, and it's been like a download of fresh information, complete with recalling my home, surroundings, time of day, where I stood, where others stood, facial expressions, tone, who was there, what was said. So no, my brain didn't just fabricate a false set of memories. I feel the truth of all these things in my core. This stuff was in me, and there's not a question of its reality. The blanks have just been filled in. It feels like a very unfortunate aha moment. I mean, that's crazy to doubt that. Like, don't get me wrong. I guess there's a small percent chance that maybe the memories are incorrect, but like just the fact that OP has always had this lingering feeling of fear around the stepmom gives me the confidence to validate that these are real memories that OP is having. Like, I truly think those feelings of like fear of the person is the truth, and that is explained by all these memories that are coming up now. Thanks for all of those who have shared their own personal stories of hardship and pain. Man, some of us have walked through some really tough roads. I'm sorry for you all too. Someone shared a link to an article about how isolating abuse is. It's true, makes me feel crazy. There's a strange solace in knowing others are out there powering through their own pain too. Take good care. I'm glad OP is taking the advice to let it marinate for a bit and then also go get treatment that will help with healing from traumatic memories and traumatic experiences. I still think the right answer is cut them off though, especially with what they were talking about. Like, oh, I'm building this new safe place with my partner who encourages me to be the best person I can be and supports me being able to heal from this stuff. You don't need people who are going to deter that healing. And all that I've heard from the stepmom and the dad here is that they're going to keep making the healing process difficult. And you just don't need that. We have a final update here, October 29th, 2019, 3 months later. I did what everyone encouraged me to do and hauled my butt to therapy. I shopped for therapists and found a really stellar one. He is compassionate, attentive, and clear. I also got involved in ACOA, Adult Children of Alcoholics, which has been helpful for me. My response for a long while was just to hunker down. My sister decided she did not want to speak about this topic with me, so we have been distant. My dad and I went almost 3 months without speaking. He would text inquiring or asking to meet and then cancel our meetings. I've avoided speaking with my stepmom altogether. My fiance and I have gotten closer through this experience. I've leaned on him and he has been really supportive. We are doing joint therapy to work on making sure this does not affect the level of trust and safety we can have as we move into marriage. Emotionally, I've not been too well. This experience called a narrative and history into question. The shift that has taken place has been sobering and disheartening, but it also feels like a lot of who I am and my makeup has kind of clicked into view. I have that, among other things, to be grateful for. All this hard stuff has led to some answers, even if they aren't the ones I wanted. My dad and I finally spoke on Saturday. It went precisely as I could have imagined. Probably about as precisely as many of the commenters warned it would go, honestly. I went back this morning and reread a lot of the comments before writing this and was shocked by how right everyone was. The bottom line, Dad has doubled down on nothing happened here. During our call, he said he did not want to talk about any of this, but then went on to say how much I am to blame for the bulk of it. He said he has always felt in the middle of our battles. I truly didn't understand this. I have always felt incredibly passive with my stepmom and rarely did anything to defy her. When I questioned this, he said, "You always said things like, 'You aren't my mom, don't tell me what to do.' I told him I had no recollection of ever saying this. He said it was when I was 4. You had it out for her from the beginning." I mean, but also, she's not her mom. Telling a stepchild what to do comes from earned respect. Like, even if that was true, that's very valid. The call was confounding. He told me that maybe he should have not tried to stay in my life and just done what his dad had done and walked away. He said this might have been better for me, and part of him wishes now that he had just left and started a new family. He said it probably would have been better for everyone if he had done it this way. That is just dog shit father behavior. That's crazy that this man is saying this shit, and OP started this all by saying, "I have had a kind of hero through it, my dad." Those are not the words of a hero. That is the words of a fucking narcissist. He made references to me being like my mom. He said I always liked her more because of all that drama. He said this was me just bringing up more drama. I stopped trying to explain any bit of myself during the call and went quiet. There was blame, gaslighting, denial, hostility, passive aggression, all of it. The odd thing about all of it was despite him offering no validation of what did happen or is happening now, I feel validated. In my gut, I knew that was the way it would go. At least I know why I didn't ever stand up for myself. There was never much room to. I told him at least this much, that I knew this was the response he would give. Didn't expect to hear him say he wished he had just walked away, but there it was. He sees me as the problem child, and my feeling of being the scapegoat here was presented in clear view. Maddening a little, because I never even talked back as a kid. All in all, I'm thinking this one I just let go of and step back entirely. I could not have imagined ever stepping away from family, but it does feel like the sanest thing to do. I will continue to focus on healing, on therapy, on figuring out this business of trust. Thanks again. Well, I mean, not a happy ending in terms of this father's a piece of shit who goes to bat for a shitty woman over his child, but happy ending in terms of I feel like this gives OP more of a reason to distance herself from the dad and the stepmom, which I truly believe is the right answer. Like, the dad just added fuel to the fire here. As hard as it's gonna be, I think this is the right answer. I'm sorry, this is all because she said that once when she was 4, a literal toddler, the mom proceeded to literally torture her because of the words of a 4-year-old. That's such a good point, Gordon. I didn't even think about that. That's fucking crazy. To hold the words of a 4-year-old on how you treat that person for the rest of their life is fucking psychotic.